myself a promise. I won't quit, keep going till I got it. I won't give up till I'm on top.
Yo, no, I ain't the type to give up. If I do something, man, I do it till I get what I want. I turn a business out of nothing into something I love. I got a poker face, but honestly, I'm not one to bluff. I flip a switch, never miss, man, I always stay up. Don't let them see you, bitch, always have a plan to stay tough. This life ahead of you ain't easy, it was built to be rough. But that's what makes a personality, is tragedy, bruh. So keep your head on your shoulders. Now we ain't out here moving rocks, we out here moving boulders. Now we ain't getting posterized, we out here making posters, and we ain't got nothing to hide.
What up, what up, what up? Welcome into Pregaming here at Sports Money, Monday to Friday, 6 p.m. Eastern. Y'all already know, last place to stop before you go place them bets. We look at splits, do a little cash flow analysis out there. We'll look at injury reports. We'll talk about trends and angles, all them unique things to try to come up with a winning formula. Albeit last night we did not have the winning formula, so we are in bounce back mode. But what a great card tonight. You know, we've got our guy Miggity Mac Daddy's going to join us here shortly. It is Thursday, and that means that we keep it a little more loose. We're going to kind of bounce around the league here, but it's a full NHL card tonight. And I got to figure out what's going on here with this NHL. We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 NHL plays here. 5 of them. Jeez. I didn't think I was going to have 5. I might pare that down. College football. We got to look in college football for you guys as well. Nice little trend on little opportunity in that Boston College, Virginia Tech game. I got to get myself amped up because, the best intro, this reminds me of my guy, Razor Sharp Picks here, the best intro, but all of sports, not just intros and coming on guest spots on shows. All of sports might be what happens out there at Blacksburg, man. Enter Sandman. What time's that game start? 7:10. I will literally be done by 7:05, if not sooner, because I got to listen to that intro, man. That thing gets me fired up. That's my favorite intro in all of college football. Maybe all of sports. Maybe. Can't wait for that game. Georgia State's playing Marshall, too. Who knew? Who knew that was the case? But we've got 2 college football games. We have the smoke and mirrors. You know what he says. This best intro ever. I agree. I don't disagree, man. It gets me fucking fired up. I've been putting on a loop. I just listen to that intro. I just watch it over and over and over. And that's how we do it. So that's going to be fun. But we've got the NLCS here right now. The ALCS is going on. We've got Cleveland and the Yankees in play. Thank goodness Cleveland I'll tell you what. I have a play in the Mets Dodgers game. And the Yankees went up 1-0. And I was like, man, fuck baseball. But look, Cleveland comes back and fires with that 2-runner. I'm on Cleveland. Yeah, I am. Yeah, I know. We'll see what happens. We'll see. But then we'll get into Thursday night football. You know the deal. We got some angles for you guys there. Boy, the word of the day might be injury in that game. Keep your phones on. If you live nearby the stadium, you could be getting the call to go out there and get some NFL game time in you. I think the league minimum checks like, what, $50K or something like that? $60K? So if you answer your phone and you go to the stadium and you get to put the helmet on, you're picking up like $50K tonight. What could be worse? Nothing. Well, I should say a lot, but listen, it's going to be a lot of fun, though. We've got the touchdown parlay for you guys today. I'm flipping between 2 of them that I really like a lot. So let's see what happens. Just hang on 1 second. I was messing around with this video upload thing. All right, so that's going. I'm going to shut that down. Get this thing rolling out there. Let's get to the business of getting to the business, you guys. Make sure you hit that thumbs up button. If you haven't done so already, helps us out. Lets them know we're here doing this. What it does ultimately is it gets us recommended across the pike. We want new eyeballs. We want to keep growing this thing, man. The more we grow, the more we do, the more we can get paid. And I mean that from a sense of winning bets. We've got a lot of guys and girls that want to get involved in what's happening here. We want to bring it to you guys. High engagement is a must. And speaking of high engagement, nobody gets more excited and engaging on screen than Razor Sharp Picks. So we'll be going live tonight. That's right. Thursday night football. The stream team is back. And what time's that game pop off? 8 p.m., I think, 8:15, something like that. So 8:15, Broncos and Saints. So we'll be able to root that action along. Going to be a lot of fun. Going to be fun to get after it tonight, you guys. So again, smash that thumbs up if you haven't done so. Take a second. Close the comments. Hit that little thumbs up button. Then pop those comments back up there and we can start this show. And follow us at Sports Money Wins on the X account if you haven't done so already. That's where we're going to be pushing content out when we do release picks, plays, community tab information, Steam reports. Ramon Scott gives us that college football Steam action for Saturdays. You're not going to want to miss out when we drop it out there. I know YouTube can be a little slow with the notifications. So if you follow Sports Money Wins on X, turn the notifications on when we do drop that content. You will get it. And get it indeed. Now, last night, look, it's embarrassing. It's embarrassing. But it's the reality of what we do here. And the Dodgers and the Mets do not cover the first half. Ooh. Update. The Sharp Play report is in. Touchdown prop is in. Pittsburgh Buffalo did not go under, but Pittsburgh did win. Doesn't matter, but didn't go under. Colorado stinks. Boston, 2 days in a row. Fucking Flyers game with the team total over 2.5. Got too cute with it the other day. Added too many plays to it. Should have just been Boston team total over 3.5. It was a nice plus money price tag. And then, the bag over my head, kicked me square in the nuts spot was that Utah-Anaheim game. The over is now 41-12 for teams that have just played in Las Vegas. I was going to give you guys another trend yesterday that I forgot. So while we're here, we'll talk about it for a second. Kraken. I don't know why. I'll have to dig into it. But I think it has to do with travel. Maybe, maybe not. After you play the Kraken, it's a 9-0 trend to the under their last 9 games. So after the Seattle Kraken, it's 9-0. We'll talk about the Pittsburgh Penguins trend tonight. Starting to get some of those back in business. Insult to injury was Sam Houston getting busted up. Now, fucking UTEP with the plus 7.5 wins outright. Didn't give you guys that one. It just, fuck. And then, last but not least, Liberty -3 is a push. Fucking push. Can't make it up, but we can try to get it back. And that's what we're going to do tonight. So it's unfortunate. But I appreciate you guys still coming in here, rocking and rolling with us out there. Know the deal. The best business in the crew assembles here, ready to go, firing away, giving their best bets. So get that pen and paper ready. First thing you can write down is games after the Kraken team goes under. Now we got the Flyers and the Kraken in play today. So the Flyers under. They'll be going back home after this game as well. So they'll open up their stance at home. Also of note, who just played the Kraken? Nashville. The Nashville Predators, who have yet to get a point in the regular season. They got the Oilers on deck tonight. Calvin Pickard in goal for the Oilers. He struggled. He has struggled so far this season. But just keep an eye on it. Just something to keep an eye on. Both these goaltenders, Pickard's got the 414 goals against average. Saros has got a 417 goals against average. Someone's got to win. Someone has to win. But make sure you guys get these plays going here. Get them in the chat. Let's talk about what you guys are on. Best bet time. Let's take a spin around the chat. Let's see who's here rocking with us. And Joe T is back in the top spot. Number one commenter today. 99.3% first comment ratio. He misses it. He misses it by 3 or 4 spots. But he's got the Sharks and the Blackhawks. Something not right here. Something doesn't seem right here. I don't know. We're going to press on. Sharks and Blackhawks over 6. Over 6 in that Sharks-Blackhawks game for our guy Joe T's been firing away with that community tab over there on the YouTube page. It was great to see Ramon Scott share that this morning. A little opportunity for you guys if you don't know where it is. Maybe now you know. When you get the homepage at Sports Money, scroll over, you'll see community. You give that thing a click, and there's a whole bunch of plays, polls, trends, all kinds of things populated out there. Shout out to True Teller. He's rocking with us. Says, hello, everyone. Actually says, hello, everyone. Let's go. Smoke and Mirrors in the house. The Scumbag Nation be on screen tonight for the live stream. Yeah, we're doing it. It's Thursday, man. You know what happens. That last one was, I know the unders got a bunch of people in that Thursday game last week, but man, those touchdown props paid nicely, and that was a lot of fun. Vitalis is in the house. Yeah, Utah Hockey Club Ducks finished their, man. And I might have had a small hand cannon on Utah in regulation, so when they go up, I'm thinking, okay. And then bang, and they fucking, Shout out to Justin McKelvey in the house. The Sports Money is money. Nicholas Handy. Keith's here. He's ready for a big night tonight. Big sports night. True Teller says homer by the losers. Who got the homer? I'm a little behind. Maybe it's Cleveland. Maybe it's Cleveland that are the losers. I'm not sure. Justin says he needs 2 more Cleveland runs. AO, Texas Hockey, Yankees. Is that Dallas? I believe that's Dallas and the Yankees. There's my guy Subhuman. Nasty Nate, a.k.a. the Wrench, a.k.a. the Mechanic. He's in the house. He's ready to go tonight. He's fired up. New England Patriots smash this week, Nasty Nate. That's a question mark for you. It's a big look. It's an interesting looking spot as I look ahead. Subhuman giving out some they're not first strike plays anymore. They are UFC early looks here. He's giving you guys a little parlay prop out there. Or just a prop, I guess. I should read it better. It's better reading. Shout out to Trisha M. Rob McMahon's in the house. Says, what's up, Sports Money crew? Trisha M says, hi all. Let's get overs in MLB. That wind looks like it is howling in. If I'm not mistaken. Shout out to you, Mr. Vape. Likes the intro. Appreciate that, dude. Appreciate that, man. Thank you. Thank you much. Thanks for noticing. Appreciate that. On that heat, says he had to fade that Sam Houston spot at the last minute. Good for you, dude. Good for you, man. You got it. That's what you mean. That's what you get. This is the Sports Money one. Hey, thanks, dude. Thanks. We're rocking. All right, you guys, let's see what we've got going on. Trisha M says, Moolah's fashionable again. Someone been shopping? No. This is just, this is called It's Laundry Day. It's laundry day. And it's hoodie season, so it's a lot of laundry. That's what it comes down to. Jerry Davis says, if you don't get chills at night with Enter Sandman, you need to do when they ring the bell. Damn, man, I'm fired up just thinking about it. It doesn't take much to get me fired up. You guys know that. Jay Main's in the house. Jerry Davis says, any of you people that cashed on FIU in Western Kentucky, let me know where you got your crystal ball. That both favorites would lose their quarterback in the first half and get replaced by bumbling idiots. Well said. Mexican Elvis, appreciate him rocking with us, says minimal butt rubbing. Justin McKelvey says, yep, that's wild. I forgot to hit the like button. I did it now. Now we can get going. Nasty Nate says the Flyers are dead to me. I love the team and I hate the team. Nasty Nate, it's a quandary for me. Love them and hate them. They're too stupid to know they're bad. Say that all the time. Jerry Davis has had the first 5 under and full game under in the Dodgers game. Only thing I cashed besides the live under 56 in FIU. Gonzo, we hope you are doing well, my friend. He's got fighting COVID, but still capping. Building models. Appreciate my brother, man. Hope you're doing well. Hope the family's getting healthy. Rest up, recharge, and then we attack the books, my friend. Joe W's in the house. Old E. This might be stupid square. Tease Denver across the 0. Not smart. And tied them to Marshall. Live by the sword, die by the sword. Yeah, not against that. I may have teased them as well. We'll talk about it. Truth Teller likes Alvin Kamara 1+ touchdown. I like that spot. Vilo Coots is in the house. He's giving us an under in that Dodgers-Mets game. Truth Teller likes the over 1.5 field goals. Okay. Chosen One's here. Redbeard is here. Jerry Davis says, piss on Kamara. Couldn't get 50 yards rushing. Chosen One likes the under in that Virginia Tech game. J-May likes the Spencer over rushing yards, leaning Bo Nix. I'll tell you what. Bo Nix, to me, should be a touchdown prop tonight. He's not in the touchdown parlay. But I thought he was going to get one last week. He didn't. And my success ratio of the following week after I miss it that week is almost damn near 100%. So let's go. Barry Roselle says another day, another dollar. Yep, True Tellers giving us that Veltcamp info, man. Crazy. Kelly V says trend 10 of 12 unders in the Rangers-Detroit game. Quick rematch. Nope. Quick's in that. Info didn't play yet. They're fucking around with this goalie report here. I'm going to update this here and let's see if we can get this thing going. Let's get the show on the road. I told you guys a little more low key here because when our guy Miggin and Matt comes in, we will split the screen. So for now, it's going to be dictation time and not to be confused with Dick Tracy time, but dictation time. So let's get to business. Let's get to the business of getting to the business. And the first business on hand, I'm just going to do it like this. How about this? How about we start there? A little parlay action with the Sabres game and the Blue Jackets. Devin Levi getting a start. 1-1 on the season. Devin Levi does support himself a 91.9% save percentage. Pretty good. He's been better than UPL. UPL almost sounds like UBL. But that being said, though, Levi getting to go again. The Sabres have had themselves an interesting start to this season there. They played the international games to start things off, had a little bit of that break, and now they come back. And Levi finding himself at 2.56 goals against average. Just 1-1 on the season. And we know yesterday, we saw that Penguins game blew through the total, and then the Penguins ended up getting the win. They got Daniel Tarasov going on the other side, still giving Merzlikins time to rest. Talk about resting and regrouping. This guy's got to recharge the battery. So who do they put out there for Columbus? Tarasov. 4 goals on 30 shots in his first game for an 86.7% save percentage. But they were playing Colorado, and they were able to get the win. So for what it's worth, we know the emotions running high with the Gaudreau, I'm going to call it. It wasn't ceremony, right? So it's the recognition. That's not even recognition. It's not even the right term, huh? The memorial. There we go. Emotions running high. They'll be high in that stadium for a long time as they keep rolling out there because that's just one of the most tragic things I've heard in all of sports. But when it comes to tonight's game, the angle, the spot that we're going to ride hot with on this one here is that after you played the Penguins situation. You played the Penguins, now you're on the road, you're 10-5 in those spots. I don't know why. I don't know what the correlation is to Pittsburgh other than maybe Pittsburgh keeps it competitive, gets the juices flowing. And they're still, when you look at that, I mean, they had all their, ceremonial shit going on last night in Pittsburgh as well, right? Malkin, Crosby, everyone's setting records for playing 1,000 years and putting up 1,000 points, and it was a big deal for them. And it was just a little too much for the Sabres to overcome. But if you're a road favorite after you play the Penguins, you're 13-2 to the under as well. And I saw this thing at a plus 200. I thought, you know what? I'm not going to fuck around with the minus. What was the juice? Minus 140 right now for the Sabres. Let me look. I knew minus 140 on the head. It's interesting because I was talking with our boy Mike earlier today, and we were talking just a little bit about the correlation, right? We don't spend a lot of time looking at the cash flow splits because the reality when it comes to hockey, and I've said to you guys before, I don't really spend a lot of time dealing with those things, but the bottom line is it's more of a sharp betting sport. There's not a lot of casuals that come in here and bet on the NHL. It's in terms of book and handle, Now there's more teams, but it's in the relation of the gambling that the WNBA receives. Everybody wants to bet football. Everybody wants to bet the NBA, regardless of injury status and everything else that goes into it. So you get sharper moves in hockey, but typically where do the sharps do? Well, they take dogs. So if you're wondering, why don't we go over a lot of the splits? We can. We have the access to the information, but, bigger money's on a lot of dogs, frankly. And, there's some spots where they're buying, we'll talk about this Canadiens and Kings game here in a few minutes, but they like the prices. They're price shoppers. Now, it is 71% of the bets and 67% of the cash on the Sabres. So you got a little bit of the bigger money coming in on the Blue Jackets. I don't care. Some of these trends with the next team up, the team you just played, and if you're on the road next versus being at home next, those are some factors that do contribute to the overall record and recap of these teams and their performance. So I'm going to jump off here with this Buffalo team in the under. Jerry Davis says, you don't think the back-to-back in Columbus still? Yeah, I do. It's funny. I specifically mentioned that this morning. I said, excuse me, if you look at the back-to-back situation, yeah, the Columbus should be the team to go. But they're starting a piece of shit that can't stop a beach ball in Tarasov. Sabres got their best guy in Levi coming out there. Remember, they drafted him high. He had to go in last year. He had to flip time between the Rochester Amerks and the Buffalo Sabres, but he couldn't stop a beach ball himself to start the season last year. Then he gets back down to Rochester. He gets himself a nice little thing going in the minors. He comes back up and he's serviceable in the NHL and he's playing very well right now. So I do think that, but not so much the dollars and cents, but look at how this line opened up. The Sabres on the second end of a back-to-back after getting scorched and torched. Open as a minus 130, moved to a minus 140. That line to me says this is that spot for Buffalo. That's how we'll kick her off. That's how we're going to move on to this next game. But I get it. I certainly get it. We're going to swallow a little juice on this next one. I contemplated tying it to a parlay. We're going to talk about the Vegas Golden Knights, Tampa Bay. You know the deal here. We're trend heavy. We look for them angles and those opportunities to find a way that lines to a 65% or higher win percentage. Now, sometimes we're not going to get there, and it's more of the gut play, if you will, but other times we are going to get there. And we got there today with this spot as well. So as we look at it and we look at these goaltenders, it's still unconfirmed. It looks like the Vegas Golden Knights want to give Aiden Hill to go. And he's got a 3.71 goals against average, 85.5% save percentage. Tampa likely is Vasilevsky, who's been playing great. 2-0 on the season. 1.0 goals against average, 95.8% save percentage. Last year, 2.9 goals against average, 90% save percentage in 52 games. He was injured for a big chunk of the season. He came back. He went 30-20, starting to figure some things out there. But, man, you look at these two teams and, Vegas has been playing spectacular. They're one of the fewer teams with mileage on themselves at this point here in Tampa Bay. Tampa Bay is just 2-0 because, don't forget, they had that hurricane run through there. Hurricane Milt, good old Milt, fucked a lot of shit up, and it definitely fucked up that schedule for this Tampa Bay Lightning team. But Tampa Bay's got the number of this Vegas Golden Knights team. When you look at some teams and how they kind of rebound. Now, we know that they just played Florida, right? We just saw it. Was it Florida? Better double check. No, Washington. I'm sorry. 4-2 loss to Washington 2 days ago. They take a little trip down south. Well, how does Vegas do after they took a loss in a non-conference dog position? When the books open them up as a dog after they shit the bed as a favorite, they are 1-9. 1-9. Also, when you have effective home favorites, teams that score more than the league average, playing in back-to-back home spots, 37-19 does support this Tampa Bay Lightning team as well. I didn't want to mess with the -1. Honestly, I thought this game had overtime potential written on it. If you're off a win, you got 1 day's rest at home, You beat the team up the last 2 times you played them as well. You're 10-3 in those spots. 1 day's rest at home. Beat the team up twice the last 2 times you played them. You're 10-3. You're also 2-11 to the under in those spots. But I think this is a Tampa play here. Vasilevsky's been playing phenomenal. You know, you think about the mental state of a goaltender that's got some injuries coming into the season. I can't remember. I think it was his knee. If I'm not mistaken. You know, he's just trying to shake it off. He's got to prove it back to himself, and he did. And his form is great right now. This Vegas Golden Knights team, definitely scary. Their first game of the road trip, they lose to Washington 4-2. Back-to-back unders out there, too. Lower scoring opportunity, which I do think is in play for this team as well. But I'm just going to take Tampa. Again, I think this is a game that's got overtime written on it. I'm not, listen, I said this before. If you give out overtimes in the first week of the hockey season, you're an asshole. Because you don't have anything to go on. It's not overtime season, but a lot of the trends that I looked at for both these sides had like 0.2 goals differential. It's tight. It says it's going to be tight. Wouldn't surprise me if it was 2-2. Going into the third period, we don't see any goals in the third period. And then they go into overtime, and Tampa Bay finds a way, probably by a shootout, to get the win. And I guess that's how I'm going to call it. True Teller says, oh, Lord, I want to be in that number. When the Saints go marching in, Nathan Cerna took a shot with Chicago at -190. Kelly V, Jersey, Ottawa, first period. Was that 1.5? Oh, first period over 1.5. I got it. That little squiggly deal there. I got you. You know, Kelly V had reminded me today. What's up, Matty Ice is in the house. It's good to see you, Matty Ice. How you been, my dude? Hope you're rocking and rolling, kicking ass and taking names, as I expect you are. KV reminded me today, and I got to pull the trend out. I don't have it, and I didn't prep for it, so it's only fair that I'll round about it for you guys. We'll keep our eye on this one here. Now, it's not an official play for me today. This Vancouver Canucks Florida Panthers line is all out of whack for me. It's all out of whack. All the money's coming in on the Panthers. The Canucks keep moving. They're now -112s. And I get it, the Florida Panthers being without, Kachuk's the big deal that they're out there kind of down and out with. Definitely makes for an issue on that Florida Panthers team. They are starting Bobrovsky, though. On the other side of things, Kevin Lankinen is in net for Vancouver. And yeah, he's 0-1. He took an overtime loss. But he's got a 1.85 goals against average. 93.5% save percentage out there. Matthew Tkachuk, Alexander Barkov out of the lineup for this Florida Panthers team. And the highest sharp action report came in today. It was on the Vancouver Canucks. The books are concerned with the Canucks. I believe it was 19-2. It was either 19-2 or 19-3. 18-2 there, says Kelly V. It was a lot of wins. And those wins were on the under for Florida Panthers on a Thursday. On a Thursday, the Florida Panthers are an under team. I expect here, if I was going to look at this game and start to think, digging into it a little bit, the star player theory, very much in effect, right? Tkachuk and Barkov were out of that last game. They were still able to figure it out. They came out with that W, right? They might just own Boston. I believe Boston was the last game. Let me double check. Nope, Columbus. Man, 4 straight road games. 4-3 and 4-3 back-to-back wins, though, for that team in the Florida Panthers. I would think this is that spot where now they're coming back home. So you know what they got to do? They got to mess around. They got to pick up their dry cleaning. They got to run to the grocery store. They got to get the car out of the parking lot. There's all kinds of shit that happens when you come back home for the first time. After 4 straight road games, yeah, it's real. And now you take Barkov out of the lineup and you take Tkachuk out of the lineup. I think that's too much for Florida to have to overcome here. So I get this number. despite everybody betting on Florida. Why are they betting on Florida? Because they're seeing them beat everybody up. Recency bias, Stanley Cup champ. I'm not buying it. I like the under. I can't give it official to you guys. I don't have that actual trend at my disposal, but I will find it. I will get the number for you guys, but something to look at if you're interested in action. You know, sometimes I just tell you guys what I got going on, and nice. Nathan Cerna says, play the music, Pimp Slap. Just hit my Dodgers Mets Nerfy. Dodgers Mets Nerfy. You mean Yankees Cleveland Nerfy? I was going to say the Dodgers and Mets. Did that game start already? We got it dug on the schedule there. Shout out to you, Nathan Cerna. My dude cashing bets. Making money. Let's go. Yeah, that was a big trend. So let's keep our eyes on that Florida Panthers game out there for you guys. You know, like I said, sometimes I don't have the play on it, but I'll share with you my action, and I'll share with you some of the angles and trends that I come across along the way. But I do have some action for you guys in this next game that we'll talk about here. Let's go north of the border. How about that? They got themselves a legalized red light district up there in Montreal. I can remember international tournaments as kids going up there, and everyone was, wow. Let's just leave that story right there. Let's put a pin in that story. How about that? The Canadiens and the Kings pop off here, and we'll look at goaltending performances. What do we got coming out in net? It's Montembeault starting for this Montreal Canadiens team. Samuel is playing well, and not 2.02 goals against average, and a 94.2% save percentage. That's good for 2-1. Now, he just got busted up. 5 goals on 30 shots. Looking to bounce back, clearly. That Penguins team, man, you don't know what you're going to get from them Penguins. Seems like goals, though, doesn't it? Seems like maybe it's just recency bias for me, but it seems like they're scoring. Unconfirmed. It very much makes it difficult to cap hockey. Okay, now we're confirmed. I told you guys about this yesterday. Red Light Rittich going to be starting for the Los Angeles Kings. 0-1 on the season. 7.27 goals against average. And here's the thing about this Los Angeles Kings team. I talked to you guys about Darcy Kemper being hurt the other day. So what do? They get co-play. They bring him up from the minors, and he is truly going to be emergency relief, is what they said. Emergency relief. Could they have used emergency relief yesterday? Maybe. They got busted up, embarrassed. They got their bottoms pulled down and smacked in front of a home Toronto crowd. 6-2 loss. Disgusting. Ugly. And I don't think it gets much better here. You got this guy Rittich out there. Now, what I think is the difference in this game is when you don't have that goaltender, you can't just let the guy get fucked over and smoked. You got to change your game plan and play some defense. Now, we don't know how long Kemper's going to be day to day. I heard it could be 1 day, it could be 3 days, it could be 5 days. I don't expect it to go much longer, but they're not willing to go out there and throw Copley in play. They're just going to let Rittich get roasted. It's like Patrick Corbin Day with this Rittich kid. And I told you last year I thought he was a piece of shit, but he fooled everybody. And he had himself a nice little 10-15 game streak going on. So all that process, we look at this team here. We look at, oops, where'd I go here? The Canadiens, coming off that situation. We got the Kings, literally, second day, back-to-back, no rest. Let's talk about why I'm taking this Montreal Canadiens team. And when I say why, I mean, I'll give you some numbers to consider it, to validate it here. Non-conference favorites off a loss. Non-conference favorites off a loss are 2-7 this season. 2-7. Non-conference favorites off a loss. If you're on the second road game with no rest off a loss, aka back-to-back unrested position on the road, you're 9-23 in those spots. You got a team in this Kings that have nobody else to put in goaltender? The under's definitely a little spot there. 9-1 in the last 10 Kings Canadiens matchups. Maybe that's why they're feeling like, hey, we can still get away with Rittich and kind of limp through this road trip play here. But the one that I like the most here is what happens when you blow a lead here, this Montreal Canadiens team. If you were lined as a dog and you blew a lead your last game, your opponent doesn't score on the power play their last game. Inefficient special teams. You're a dog and you blew a lead the last game. So you're pissed. You're not happy that you lost that lead. You're 28-11 in those spots. That's the bounce back opportunity here. We're going to fade the Kings because they are in that unrested back-to-back spot on the road. And we're going to look for a Canadiens team to be pissed off, bounce back with their best goaltender in net. We're going to get them at a plus 120. Huge opportunity for the Canadiens. I was talking earlier today. I said, you don't even have to watch the show tonight. I'm taking the Canadiens. Now you know. And I took them. And I'm taking them again. How about that? I'm recommending them to you guys as a must-play at plus 120 here. There's just too many good trends not to take advantage of it. I see it, KV, 8-2 in the series. But look, these numbers don't lie to us. These numbers tell us this is a spot to fade away on them Kings. It's been a tough road trip, man. 4 straight games. This is their fifth game of the road trip. Buffalo, Boston, Ottawa, Toronto. You got to take a shot with this Canadiens team at this plus 120 price tag. This line hasn't dipped with a lot of the so-called sharp bettors hammering away on Seattle. I'm sorry, Seattle. Seattle just came through my phone. The Kings themselves. So I see our guys back there. Once he's green lit with the camera, we will bring him in and get him ready to go. Let's keep going. Let's move on. You guys got that big live stream coming up here, so we don't want to waste much time with you guys here. We're going to get you to the business of getting the business, and then we'll get to the business of having cocktails and live betting and sweating together on camera here. Talk about a bounce back spot. You know who's been a hell of a bounce back team? The St. Louis Blues. With a big differential in this point on the Blues getting some action here. We look at this goaltending matchup between these two teams. Well, we look on the St. Louis side of things. They're going to Joel Hofer. Has caught himself a win with an 86.2% save percentage. Now, 24, so he's a young guy. He did allow 4 goals on 29 shots for that 86.2% save percentage. But, he was at 265 goals against averages last season with a 91.3% save percentage. Probably only should go up for that guy from where he's at and starting this season. On the other side of things, Ilya Sorokin's going to start for the Islanders. And he's been playing spectacular at 2.0 goals against average, a 94.1% save percentage. Dude's firing. And he's only getting better. Now, last year he was at 3.01 goals against average. I think the number's 10. I think after 10 games, we can kind of move on past how these guys did last year and start to kind of look at the data and how they're trending this year. We take a 10-game sample, and then we can kind of cross-reference it against their last 3 games. But for now, we still have to look at some of these numbers from the previous season. And I mentioned the opportunity for the bounce back with these boys here in St. Louis. They do it almost better than anybody. The St. Louis Blues in bounce back spots. But the biggest number that was coming off the page, where the hell did it go? Oh, did I overwrite it? There it is. St. Louis Blues in a bounce back spot after taking an L, find themselves 8-2 in their last 10 games. But the under at a 2-7. So a 7-2 trend in favor of the under on these two teams. Playing out there in the rebound bounce back spot. And this total has been going down from 6s to even some 5.5s out there in the marketplace. Blues just came off an under. It was that 4-1 loss to Minnesota. Islanders scored a bunch of goals, but guess who it was against? Colorado. And previously they were shut out. So what happens to teams after they get shut out? Well, they tend to come out there and score. That's exactly what happened. And that over 6.5, I think, gives us tremendous value for an even money spot for the bounce back situation with these Islanders Blues game to go under 6. Told you it's a big hockey card for me. So, and there were still some games I wanted to get involved with here, but there's just some big trends that have been good to me year over year that I think warrant us putting them on the radar here today. And that is this spot there. And the last game I'm going to talk to you guys about here, and we'll get our guy rocking and rolling with us NHL-wise, we'll move on to college football, where he stars in Hitting the Books. My voice getting a little scratchy here. Voice seems like it's getting a little scratchy. All right, I'm going to do it. The Flyers and the Kraken. Can't believe I'm going to do it. I did it. I already did it. Doesn't matter at this point. Goaltenders, though. How about this? Ivan Fedotov starts the season off with a 5.08 goals against average and an 83.9% save percentage. It's terrible. Flip side, it's Philip Grubauer going in. It's not Joey Decord, as Seattle had kind of speculated to start the day off. It looks like it's likely to be Philip Grubauer. He's averaging an 89.6% save percentage. Seattle, we know 2-2 to start this season. Got both their wins with Grubauer in net. Surprising. Because he does have an 0-2 record, so it's weird the way this thing has gone down, but they basically yanked his ass, and then he's got to go back out and figure it out, and that's what he's got to do tonight. The Flyers, on the other hand, 1-1-1 to start the season. This is their last game before they go home. They will open up a big home stand out there, and that will be their season home opener out there. But, Fedotov, 5 goals on 31 shots against them Calgary Flames was embarrassing. They beat Vancouver, then they get slapped by Calgary, and it was ugly. It's about as ugly as you could expect out there. Jesus, 5 goals on 31 shots. How can you stomach it? Well, I'll tell you how I can stomach it. I was looking at these numbers. I was getting involved a little bit with some of these Kraken spots. Talk about special teams and an effective special teams. You gave up a power play goal and lost to the team. If Seattle's at home, they're 0-10 in those spots. At home, a team that's found success on the power play against you and they beat you. 0-10 are them Seattle Kraken. If you're a home favorite with a day's rest and you're on your first leg of a back-to-back with no rest, you got a 2-8 spot against the puck line as well. Tight game should be expected. Plus 1.5, minus 290. This is another game that I thought maybe had a little overtime potential in it. That being that the Flyers just came off of that overtime game as well, though. Kind of kept me off of that. And at plus 122 here, I'm going to fade that Kraken spot. You got a team that does want to bounce back here. They managed themselves notably. It cost me a small fucking chip, but the Flyers couldn't find a way to get that Edmonton Oilers money. And I think they're going to bounce back here again, knowing that they're going back home next. Should be a big opportunity for them to get fired up and crack. And I think that Kraken do show the cracks here. 0-10 when the teams found success against them the last time that they played. What do you guys think about that? What do you think? Let's see what you guys have to say about some of these spots in the chat. There's my guy Nutflush in the house. I would have played this Philly team total over 2.5. Yeah, it was minus 140 when I saw it this morning. Voices a little scratchy. Huh. What up, Markel? It's good to see you. Let's see what you guys have to say here. We're at 6:45. You know we got to get moving for Enter Sandman. Can't miss that. Let's go over to college football. 2 games on the books. I've only got 1 play in college football, so maybe our guy will have something else for us. But we do want to concern ourselves with these trends a little, or with these splits a little bit. So Georgia State and Marshall has 73% of the bets on the over and 64% of the cash on the over. Line hasn't moved. Marshall has gone from -7 to -9, and now we're seeing 9.5s out there. 51% of the bets on Marshall, 59% of the cash on Marshall. I didn't want to get involved in this team. Marshall's 3-3. Georgia State's 2-3. I mean, this number is pretty big for a reason here. I wouldn't be surprised to see Marshall come out here and kick the shit out of these boys. I think the challenge that's going to be in store there is how the hell how is Georgia State going to hang on? I mean, they're 0-2 in the Sun Belt. Marshall should be pissed. 24-23 loss to Georgia Southern. Just seems like bad schedule spot for this. And that's why I think this number is as high as it is. The fucking thing about Marshall, though, is they were up that game. They were up like 20, what was it, 21-3 or something like that? And then they lose. They let Georgia Southern come back. That's the challenging situation out there. I like this Marshall team in the first half. Georgia State doesn't run the ball. They're a pass-oriented team. And Marshall's passing defense, not horrible. Not horrible whatsoever. That being said, though, I believe it's Stone. Is it Stone Earl? I'm not sure how to say it. Stone. And then Braylon Braxton was split duty quarterback situations out there. It does look like they're going to give Earl the start. I don't like it. I don't like anything about this game. We got NFL action tonight as well. And as shitty as that game might look on paper, there's definitely some spots for us to smash and dash. But I would even think about the under in this game. You know, the thing is, if Marshall can go out there and play that secondary type of game that they do, there should be some challenge for Georgia State to move the ball. And now they're going to start making some turnovers in some bad positions, maybe even Marshall's team total over. I can't get there. I see Nathan Cernan says that's why I took the first half. Yeah, I get it. And the number gets chopped in half, right? Or not quite in half, but you're at 5.5s and 6s. More easy pill to swallow. I just don't like that 2 quarterback situation, but I do like our guy being ready backstage. So let me get the screen set up for him. We'll bring him in. We're ready to rock. We're ready to make some money. I know he's ready to make some money as well. Let's welcome in our guy, Connor Miggity Mac Daddy in the house. C-Mac, what up?
What up, Michael? Hold on. All right, what up? Shout out to the chat. What's going on?
Same shit, different day, my friend.
Different day. Let's get
trying to make that money, trying to get it back here. Had a tough day yesterday, so we're trying to recover and rally. Quite a few hockey games in play, but you're perfect timing for the CFB because I got to pass on this Georgia State Marshall game. I just didn't have a spot that I liked enough that I wanted to get invested in it. What do you think?
You know what? I couldn't get to Georgia State. I wanted to take them, and I'd rather be on them a little bit. You know, in the past, I just don't trust this Marshall offense, you know, kind of with Earl, or even when they go, you know, with both quarterbacks. Marshall this year, I mean, they've been great. I mean, basically 5-0 or 5-1, depending, you know, ATS. They've been money. Georgia State can't stop the run. You know, that's really what I had a problem with here. And if they get behind big, can they come back? And that last game Marshall had was just, you know, crazy. That loss was basically a push, is if you're looking at against number against Georgia Southern, 24-23. You got to think they're going to be ready to go here after that game. I mean, they were up 23-5, and allowed like a safety or
hung out there. Yeah.
Yeah, there was a safety and basically 3 touchdowns. I think one was a 2-point conversion. So they got to be pissed here. Like I thought Georgia State could hang around, but in the end, I just couldn't get there. I just one of those teams with Marshall. And after watching last week, can they hold the lead? Can they cover this number for you? Like that's where I was a little like looking their way, you know. So I had to pass. I thought if I maybe got to 10, it wasn't going to get to 10. I could look Georgia State's way, just because I think they have enough offense to maybe hang around it. And for the most part, Georgia State hasn't been good. Of course, as a favorite, they're not going to cover. When you see a team like that, Mike, it's just in college football. Stay off. Don't bet it. When they're a favorite, it's like when the team they played, Old Dominion. It's like when they're a favorite, fade them. You know, they're favored by a field goal or so, they lose. 24. It just happens all the time. The same thing with Georgia Southern. They were favorites. They lost, you know, favored by 3.5. They lose 38-21. Yeah, defense just wasn't there, so I had to get off it. I do have. Let me hit up since you already went through NHL.
Yeah,
I have 2 NHL plays. I have Devil Sends over 6.5. I got -103 on that. I just think we get goals with these two teams. That's one of the lone overs I like today on the card. And I think, as much as I like how New Jersey's look, I take the Sens. I lean their way. Yeah, as a dog at home, you know, right around +125. But I'm going to do another dog. My other place here, the Blues. Bennington's not in net, right? It's
Hofer.
over here. I don't mind it. I think they get bounced back here after losing the other day at home, and at plus 130 is what I got. I'm on it. So NHL's been good to me. So I went 3-0 yesterday. Hopefully get 2-0 here tonight. Those are my 2 looks.
I was saying earlier before you jumped on, the St. Louis Blues, when they're in a bounce back spot after they took the L, they're 8-2. I think it's tremendous value on that. I gave out the under. I was looking at the under. They're 2-7 to the under team as well, but I like it. You know what? It almost sounds like a little parlay action, a little same game parlay between the two.
All right, I like it too. Not flush.
I'll tell you a secret.
Nathan Cerna.
It's not a secret. I'll tell you guys. Just don't tell anybody else. We're amongst friends. I hate Marshall.
Well, normally they don't. They haven't covered. They've been unbelievable ATS this year, and mostly that's them being the dog that have covered numbers. You know, like I talked about. So here, what are they? I mean, small favorites, App State. They gave up a lot of points in that game to an App State team's not very good, but they hung up 52. They covered that. I remember that Ohio State game. And they covered. That's against Virginia Tech. You know, hung around.
I just hate Marshall. Fuck Marshall. It seems like anytime
we are Marshall. What happened to you, Mike? I thought you're a fucking jovial guy.
Every time I am on Marshall, I am getting fucked is what happens there. I am fucked is what that song should. That's what the remake is going to be called. It's starring me, and it's going to be sitting at the casino betting my money on Marshall, and it's called I Am Fucked. But
yeah, they have. This is years ago, but yeah, they as favorite. That's what I'm talking about. You're gonna have to put that out. They haven't been good to me either. If you put money on.
Well, let's talk Boston College, Virginia Tech. We got Enter Sandman popping off here. Boxford's going to be popping. Nighttime is the right time. But we got them Boston College Eagles flying on in, trying to make something happen with the Hokies. 63% of the bets and 73% of the cash are on Virginia Tech. This thing's gone from 7, now 8.5. Total's got 70% of the bets on the over. Only 56% of the cash on the over. It's gone from 48.5 to 47.5. CMAC. Obviously, we see Boston College. Maybe a little dark horse in the ACC. Now, everybody thought Virginia Tech was like a potential dark horse, that they should have come out there, and they have not achieved or even realized half the expectations I think that I read were placed on this team out there. And they're sitting at kind of a split down the middle type of situation. 3-3 on the season. You know, recent game out there. Kind of look at that recency bias. Yeah, back-to-back games, Miami, and then Stanford had to fly all the way across the country to Stanford. They hammered Stanford 31-7. Boston College on the flip side of things here. Can't feel good about that Virginia loss, 24-14. Ugly. But surprising. I'm surprised a little bit by Boston College. I don't know what I've seen Boston College play in the past. Fade their asses here, but yet now we've got 8.5 points. Is that number too wide? You think Boston College is alive here?
You tell me. What's your bet?
I'm on Boston College. Plus 8.5. I'll take them points. Put them right in my back fucking pocket. I'll tell you what, probably one of the better college football trends I had going on right now. Conference team, away dog off a bye. Let's not forget that bye factor that's been so damn good to us. 85-50. Conference team, away dog off a bye.
Yeah, both these teams off buys.
If they lost after being up in the third quarter and then they lose the game, they're winning at a 62% clip. Boston College has been the story of the Dogs. The thing about Boston College that I like the most about this team this year, it's Castellanos. Guys not afraid to chuck the ball around the yard. They got a successful offense. They're 20th in the nation at finishing drives. And they've got that 9th in offensive explosiveness. When they make a play deep, it's big. It changes the game. And 8.5 points, I think, is too many that we're going to see this Virginia Tech team try to hang on to. Wouldn't even be surprised if Virginia Tech came out to like a big lead early. And then that forces the hand of Boston College to throw it. And that's what they do pretty well. The thing about Virginia Tech, though, is they run it pretty well, right? They're a rushing-oriented team out there. They run the ball almost 60% of the time. They're 60th in rushing points per game or yards per game out there. So they're an effective team that can control the ball on the ground. But I like a Castellanos situation, man. 12 touchdowns, only 4 interceptions. I think it's going to be a fun night, man. I think it's explosive. And the dog wins a lot with Boston College. The dog is 13-4 the last 17 Boston College games. I think the dog's barking. I think they might even be a live dog, C-Mac. But
yeah, I mean, I'm on them. I took this earlier. I don't like this kind of late move, but I don't really buy it here for Virginia Tech. I don't know. The allure, it's going to be rocking there. Enter Sandman will be playing. And this defense is pretty good at times. Like, I go back to the last game before the bye. It was their worst half of football, and they blew it. Like, they were up 14-6 at Virginia. And that second half, that's where I get to Castellanos. I was telling Nutpush put in the chat he likes the yards. Like, he needs to tuck it and run a little bit more, maybe. He's passing it better. But that was the problem in the second half of that game. It was punt, a fumble, for return for a touchdown for Virginia, interception. Both interceptions were in the second half. It was basically 4 out of the 5 were turnovers of their drives in the second half is Virginia. Like, if that doesn't happen, they're in this game. And you know why they're in it is because their defense so far this year.
Right.
Like, I saw it against Missouri all year. I've been impressed how they played. Obviously Florida State from the get-go is very good. And, like, if I don't think they have that second half after being up 14-6, they're right in. It's very close with Virginia. So, yeah, Castellanos needs to be a lot better. And one thing, Brent Pry, he's been a fade for me as a favorite in this spot. Even at home, it just, no matter where he's been, he just hasn't covered numbers like this in the past. Virginia Tech, too, just to look at this total, as much as I like BC to cover this number, and I think they got to try to keep it in the 20s. Virginia Tech, though, for the last year and a half, been a really good over team. They've been able to score points. So I need the BC defense plays well. Don't turn it over. They're covering here. If that doesn't work out, we have problems here tonight. But yeah, I'm on the dog here.
I think it's an explosive opportunity. Now, I think Virginia Tech can certainly go out there and be combative on their own. But
Drones is excellent. They got solid receivers. Like I said, I think their defense is pretty good. Obviously, like Miami and that, they gave up yards. That game went back and forth later on, but the numbers have been all right. I saw them struggle a little bit to a shitty team like Rutgers, but in spurts, the defense has been pretty good. But I think Castellanos, to me, he can make enough plays. Yeah. Don't turn it over. This offense is good enough where they can run a little bit. Yeah, I think they can hang and try not to get down too big early. I know you just said that. Let's not get crazy.
10. I think they can come back from a 10, even a 13. But sometimes I feel like I'm on Boston College and I look at the scoreboard and I'm demoralized. So we can't let it get too far away. They gotta find a way to maintain after that. I mean, shit, if I was out there on the field and I was on the other team and Enter Sandman was blaring at night, man, as soon as they hit them bells, I'd be fired up and bouncing all over the place.
They should be, yeah. Off the bye. I know they're both off the bye, but yeah, I think this is just a tight football game.
Well, it'll be interesting to see how that one unfolds. Let's talk about this NLCS game here. I think we can move pretty quickly through these next couple. We've got the Dodgers and the Mets. 77% of the bets and 69% of the cash on the Dodgers. The line has come down. It's gone from minus 142 to minus 125. No movement on the total. 84% of the bets on the over. 69% of the cash on the over. The win should be, somewhat howling. It did look like it was coming in pretty much right down the dick, right from outfield in. Maybe
for what? What are you talking about?
The win in the Mets game. What's the weather doing?
Oh, the Mets game. Yeah. That. I think it's about 10 to 15, right?
It looked like it was. Yeah. Let me.
Is it more than that?
I saw something earlier that had 18 miles an hour, and I was like, damn. But I don't think that's oh, fuck. Every time I try to do something on the fly, it just shits the bed on me.
Yeah, I got the 10. Maybe it gets to 15.
Yeah, but coming pretty much right in from outfield in. So
yeah.
It looks like it's pretty static throughout. Doesn't look like it's really going to change. 8 to 9 miles an hour pretty much the entire time. It's going to be at 52 degrees. Feel like it's 45 degrees out there. I mean, look, the big thing with this one is, we've got Yamamoto on the one side of things. We look at the Mets side of things. We've got Quintana. Is this a spot where Quintana shits the bed? Because I know he's good to go fuck shit up real bad. And when it goes bad, it is real bad with Quintana. Yeah. But I'm inclined to say no. I'm taking the Mets in this one. What are we gonna? We can go talk about pitchers versus batters. They still have a lot of success out. Yamamoto. Not many guys have seen Yamamoto whatsoever on that Mets side of things here. But like I said before, my problem with the Mets, and we saw this yesterday. I feel like I jinxed it yesterday. When those bats get cold, they are like swinging a fucking ice cube out there. I mean, they just can't. Couldn't hit water if you fell out of a boat. What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, you haven't seen the Dodgers in the playoffs then, like the last few years. They can just get as ice cold as all hell. But this year they haven't. They've come through. No Freddie Freeman here. I think that makes your Mets bet look better. I mean, even Locks. Tommy Edman in the 4-hole. He is swinging a better bat, and he is better from the right side. And there's some good numbers for these guys off Quintana. This is it, though. If you want to back the Mets, this is the game right here, right? I mean, the value-wise, right off that, with this Dodgers lineup, if you're looking at it, and the Mets, I think if you like the Dodgers, maybe go a little bit early. The bullpen's been good for the Dodgers, and the Mets, this whole second half of the year in the postseason, they've come back or had big, haven't been able really to do it. Game 2, they hit the slam real early and kind of put that game out of reach. But I'd go Mets full game. I wouldn't mess around that way. If you look at Dodgers, let's see what Yamamoto can do. He's been pretty good on the road all year. One thing, this guy didn't pitch. I know he just came back, but he didn't pitch for forever. Was out. And he had that great game against the Padres, who he had struggled with in the first 2 or 3 starts earlier in the year with him, and even at the one at the end right before he came back. So Dodgers bats have been good. Can they continue it? I don't know. Max Muncy's hot. Quintana, it's all on him. If he goes out and just gives up one or no here, I think the Mets are alive. I look at it. If you like the Dodgers, I look at it early because they break it. If not, the longer the game goes on, maybe the Mets can get it done. This Dodgers bullpen is very good and has been great, but will it continue? I'm not so sure. And this is kind of do or die here a little bit for the Mets. They go down 3-1. I think this is a wrap.
Yeah. Put a fork in them. They're done style. I totally agree. The thing for me is the opportunity after they get shut out. We've talked about it so frequently. They get shut out 9-0 to the Dodgers. They fire back. Like you said, that next game, they're 7-3. Then they get shut out again, 8-0. They got to come back. And the reason I went full game and not the first 5 in this one specifically because
I like it. That's the way
I want as many at bats as I can get with those bullshit bats that the Mets have.
Yes.
I want to see Lindor with 4 tries at it, maybe a 5th try at it. I don't want to just try to shortcut him down to 2 and hope that he's only had 3 at bats against Yamamoto and he's never hit him. You mentioned Tommy Edman. That was a guy that jumped up to me as an RBI opportunity today. I don't want to go on the other.
Yeah.
He's
in the 4-hole.
Yeah, he's in a great spot to go produce results. And what do we look for? We look for who's one of the best hitters on the team. Well, he's got small sample at 8 at bats, 2 hits with a RBI against Quintana. But then you go lefty righty matchups. He's the best guy on the team against a lefty. He's got the 412. And then you go home road splits out there, and he's hanging his hat at 222. I'd like to see that number be like Mookie Betts with the 305, but I wouldn't be mad at a Tommy Edman RBI. I was just looking to see what that price is right now.
Yeah, what is it?
Might have to get involved with that here as we get closer to game time. Let's see.
What's the batter props here?
190. Plus 190 for this dude to get the RBI. Man, it seems like that's been the number for just about everybody all postseason here. It's like 190. I'll tell you what. If I don't pull the trigger on a pre and we get into this live bet show, if he goes through the first inning or first go round without getting a hit, I might look to get him on the RBI as that number swells up to plus 300. Because I do think he's
live. Me too.
Happen.
I think he's live. Just because where he's at in the spot. Here.
He's gonna get a maximum number of whacks at it, literally. He's got great guys in front of him that he should be able to drive in, and I like it. So Let's go, C-Mac. Let's talk about this NFL game, and we'll get moving on getting moving. So we could look at the splits. Why don't we do that? 57% of the bets and 74% of the cash on the Broncos. But look, the big thing is it's the fucking injury festival that is this New Orleans Saints. It screwed everything up from a numbers perspective. We see Spencer Rattler coming out there trying to attack, and this number's dropped 5 full points now. 42.5 down to 37s, yet 88% of the bets and 68% of the cash. I dismiss those numbers to some degree when we start looking at, like, is it reverse line movement? Yeah, it is. But, it's obviously driven around the injury factors. The big injury news for the Denver Broncos, Surtain's going to be out of the lineup. Josh Reynolds should be out of the lineup. I mean, it's just a tough spot for them boys. Flip side of things here, Taysom Hill's questionable. Derek Carr's out. Big news from a wide receiver production perspective. They're out both Olave and our friend of the show that's been cashing for us as well. So their number one, their number two are out. They're not putting Spencer Rattler in because they want to. They have to because Derek Carr's out. And you got a banged up Kamara. He's got wrist issues. That's a big factor that might be dismissed a little bit to some degree because the running back's catching them balls or he's holding them balls in the backfield. And we know that he's more of the dual threat type. But if he's got that wrist factor going on out there, that could be trouble in paradise. We can go down the numbers. I'll give you guys some of the numbers on this game here, and we'll get her moving because I want to see some Enter Sandman. I'm going to have to fucking record it and come back and watch it here. But look, what do you know about these spots? And both teams have 3 days rest and a total that's less than 49. Well, the favorite's 19-31. I'm sorry, the dog is 19-31. But the under is 32-18 to the under. It's a low total for a reason. Then we look at some of the other numbers that go into this one. I looked at a couple things. The Saints, when they come marching in, scored 27 points in the first half, didn't score shit in the second half. That's a big deal out there. Teams in the NFL are 12-27 against the spread if they scored 27 or more points in the first half and got shut out in the second half. Teams playing their third game in 11 days, that is the Saints, if they're not a favorite of more than 3 points, are 0-7 against the spread. And if they're a home dog as more than a point, the Saints are 0-8 against the spread as well. Don't have to get too creative in trying to figure out how I want to attack this game here. I teased it. I teased it together. I did tease it through the 0. I got the Denver Broncos at +3.5. It's tough because I struggled last week with that Broncos first half, but I watched them fight in the second half. I expect this higher scoring half to be the second half. So I'm looking to live bet that second half over. I expect this thing to be a struggle for both these teams to come out and score early. But you'll see the situation when it comes to the touchdown parlays. Kamara and Sutton, Cortland Sutton. Kamara's priced as he should be with this guy's going to have to cannibalize their offense. And Sutton, well, it's a banged up team on that offensive and defensive line. I mean, it's bang up city galore for the New Orleans Saints. You guys have probably heard all about it at this point already. Where I think the advantage lies here, how about coaching advantage? Now, it's a big comeback spot, right? The narrative, Sean Payton coming back to New Orleans, and Dennis Allen took over the role for him out there with this New Orleans Saints team. Well, how about this? How about that coaching advantage? Dennis Allen, in a home non-conference game, is 2-7 straight up, 1-8 against the spread. How about Sean Payton as an away non-conference game? He's 21-11 against the spread. We talked about this with that Bills game, and we talked about how the refs could impact the game. How about Land Clark? Yeah, him. He's the lead official. Sean Payton, 3-0 straight up and against the spread with Land Clark. Dennis Allen, he's 1-2 straight up and against the spread with Land Clark. Primetime non-conference away favorites, 34-19 against the spread. 20-37 to the under. Strong favorites to the unders. There you go. I teased it, C-Mac. I got the 3.5 and the under 43. I just wanted to buy it back up to that original number where it popped off at. And I'm parlaying. A little +575 action. I took a little Kamara and Sutton for my touchdown parlay prop.
Yeah, both these teams, especially the Saints, dealing with injuries. It looks pretty rough. Their defense and, who's on offense here, Mikey. And the Broncos, to me, are a little bit better football team. This is a game I was going to look to bet live. I do have a bet. You talked about, go back to that game. I think if you look Edmund or Kike in those spots, either one of those guys are both over plus 200, are going to get a ribby. I'll have a little on Kike. Obviously went deep again. The guy's just clutching the playoffs and off a lefty. That's where I want it. And Edmund's very good too. That's why he's better off lefties, from the right side of the plate. And he's right behind him. But I'll have some of his RBI prop. Give me Sutton in this game. The injuries a little bit. To see the secondary just get carved the fuck up by Baker Mayfield is just awful here. I know this is a Thursday game. Broncos the last couple of weeks, the defense, as the season goes on, we start to see a little change. They've given up points, on both games that went over. That Raider game, too, they were down early, they came roaring back, had pick six, and they started putting points together and beat them. I think it was, 34-18, that Raider game, something around there. But give me Sutton here. I think this is low. I think people that really like the Broncos, I think the Broncos could win this game. Now at 3, do I really want to be rushing and laying it here? No, on the road. But give me Sutton here over 44.5 receiving yards. Starting to turn around a little bit. Yeah, hasn't really had a big game. But his last few have got over this number, and I think he gets it here. So Sutton over 44.5 receiving yards.
If you're looking for a wide receiver, and he's on the New Orleans Saints because, what are you going to do?
Olave's out, right?
Yep, both of them are out.
For sure, yeah.
Both of them. So, who do you look to? How about a young feller named Bub Means? It's a real name.
I like it, Marco.
Bub Means, week 6. So, players starting to get banged up. They're starting to get hurt. Bub Means gets on the field for 50 snaps. He was targeted 8 times. He caught 5 of them, and 1 of them was for a touchdown. He's priced at plus 400 for an anytime touchdown. Bub Means. I couldn't get him into the parlay spot out there, but you might see a little action. My problem with so I have a strong look to the under. I'm going to share a same game parlay after I finish it on the live stream that we do here in a few minutes. But I have a strong lean to the under passing yards for Spencer Rattler. I think Spencer Rattler all around. They're going to try to have to hand this thing off. And I don't think it's going to be Kamara because of that risk factor. I think they're going to have to go to some other alternatives out there. But I don't know what those alternatives look like. I don't see how these teams are going to score. I mean, the Shaheed.
Who's he going to throw to here?
Shaheed's got that season-ending meniscus surgery. Yeah,
he's
got. Man, I cashed. He was a fucking unicorn. That guy was. What do you have? Like 6 touchdowns this season, and I think it was 6. He's got 5 or 6. We cashed on him a bunch of times. I mean, he was a great look out there. He was getting more looks than Olave, but I like a little Bub Means. I got to figure out how I'm going to get involved with that. I just don't know how much I want to get invested in that offense in the secondary. You know what should happen in this game? If you're Denver and their defense, yeah, they can give up points, but what do they do the second half of that game against the Rams? I'm sorry, was it the Chargers, right?
The Chargers.
Yeah, I'm screwed up in the head there. They battled back. They got torched early, right? They saw Harbaugh has a heart issue, and they have to rush him off the field, and he's in the medical tent, and then he's off the game, and the Chargers came out firing, but they got to the second half, and the Broncos made those adjustments. They battled in that game. I was able to cash that teaser with the under by the skin of my teeth, but nonetheless, they battled. They found a way in that second half to start putting some awkward pressure on getting them quarterbacks to move around a little bit. And if you do that, like we know that the defensive strategy from the D coach there for Denver is to go out and try to test these young quarterbacks and give them schemes that they haven't seen yet and try to use pace and tempo to throw them out of whack. And I think that happens here. I think the sacks props are live here. I think it's going to be a tough day for Spencer Rattler. He might not even finish the game when it's all set. I don't know who else they're going to go to, but I think that line is suspect. I think that leads to blitzing heavy. That's going to lead to some awkward passing situations for Rattler. I don't think it's a good spot for Rattler whatsoever. And that's why I haven't really gotten involved. Like Foster Moreau, Juwan Johnson. Yeah, I mean, I get it, but who's going to throw it to him? And then what? They got Jake Haener. Is Jake Haener going in there after when things get ugly for Spencer Rattler in the second half? I don't know. But I know that's time for us to put a bow on the show, C-Mac. We got a live stream popping off here in just a few minutes. I'm excited to watch this game and have a couple cocktails tonight. What do you think?
Let's get it.
Let's get it. Get it, C-Mac. I know hitting the books, man. How's it been going? You guys have been grinding. Talk to us.
Yeah, check out Hitting the Books. If you haven't subscribed, go subscribe. Go like it. That's all I ask from you. Get it done. Connor Mac picks. Get it, like it, good. Appreciate it. Let's have a big night. Let's win, baby.
Let us have a big
Just
night.
win.
I want to see exactly when this live stream starts. I know it's going to be starting shortly. I want to give you guys an accurate time. I don't want to just throw one out there off the cuff, but let me see. I should know. I know Razor is putting it together for us, and I just said, let's fucking go. And now I can't find it. So I can't find my own YouTube channel. How about that? Can't find the channel. Too much going on, too many moving parts out there, but it does look like we're going to start at 7:45. So you got about 20 minutes, 25 minutes. Get yourself your plays in there. Get yourself some cocktails poured. Get back and get ready to attack. I got a same game parlay. I'm going to finish it up here and share it with everybody live. You know the teaser for this NFL game. Let's just make some fucking money tonight, C-Mac. Lots and lots of that greenback so we can roll into this weekend feeling good about what's happening for us. Shout out to all you guys in the chat. AOD, Nutflush, Ramon Scott, Coin, Markel. Appreciate you guys hanging with us. Justin McKelvey, Jay Peasy, Kelly V, Smoke and Mirrors. Thank you guys all for hanging out tonight. Make sure you get back in here. 7:45 p.m. We're going to pop off, and you know what's going on. I got the bottle over here all ready to go.
Oh, yeah, he does. A raging alcoholic.
Thank you for watching us. Let's go support my alcoholism at 7:45. We'll see you guys.
Yes.
On behalf of the Sports Money crew, we know Ramon Scott with the morning steam, 9 a.m. Monday to Sunday. Check my man out there. Watch what he does, rocking and rolling out there. And we'll see you guys all real soon. See you at 7:45, as a matter of fact. How about that? Smash that thumbs up on the way out the door.